South Korea seeks a deal like Japan's. Nations have similar ties and similar sticking points with the U.S. on trade. President Trump's trade agreement with Japan, announced this past week, has intensified the pressure on South Korea to cut a deal that doesn't leave it at a disadvantage relative to its biggest rival in East Asia. Kim, South Korea's industry minister, who arrived in Washington on Wednesday for negotiation, pledged an all-out effort to strike a deal by the August 1st deadline to stave off a 25% tariff that the White House threatened in April and again this month. Moving forward, Mr. Kim said he was taking a close look at the terms that Tokyo accepted. Mr. Trump agreed to a tariff rate of 15%. Japan vowed to buy more American cars and rice, as well as make more than $550 billion in investment at Mr. Trump's direction. The South Korean delegation will need to wait longer for clarity. A meeting planned for Friday with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Jamieson Greer, the U.S. Trade Representative, was canceled because of Mr. Bessent's schedule and had yet to be rescheduled. South Korea and Japan have similar powerhouse industries and trade relationship with the United States, and some of the sticking points are the same, including agriculture and the automobiles. South Korea has limited negotiating levers because it already committed to drop most of its tariffs to zero in a 2007 trade agreement. Mr. Trump signed a minor revision to that pact in 2018, lifting caps on how many American cars could be exported to South Korea. Nevertheless, the American trade deficit with South Korea has increased every year since then, reaching $66 billion in 2024. That's why the heat is still on, despite what South Korea has seen as a productive trade relationship. Reciprocity was measured in terms of outcomes and results, not terms and conditions, said Michael, a former U.S. trade official for East Asia, on a podcast this month. Although South Korea is the United States' largest buyer of beef, the cattle industry has demanded that the country lift its import restriction of beef over 30 months old, which South Korea has banned since 2008 over concerns that it may introduce mad cow disease. Farming is politically sensitive in the East Asian nation, where rural areas depend on the sale of crops and livestock, especially a native breed of cattle known as Han-U. The South Korean government said on Wednesday that it had decided to draw a red line and remove the country's beef and rice markets as a possible concession, Yonhap News reported.